The Cleveland Guardians were kinda trash last year. 2 games into this year, their ace was ruled out for the season. Despite all that, this season they are destroying the American League and have become one of the best teams in all of Major League Baseball. Fittingly, it's all started with the leadoff man. Steven Kwan is a man of many talents. Along with being the chess champion of the Guardians, Kwan has been absolutely incredible on the baseball diamond. You might think this is optimistic, but right now I see Kwan as a Luis Arraez 2.0, a guy who has all the skills to compete for the batting title perennially, with other advantages as a player that Arraez does not have. Before I get to those, you might be wondering if Kwan is really as good a hitter as the guy who was hitting 400 until late June last year. My answer is he's 95% of the way there. Kwan, like Arraez, whiffs and strikes out a minuscule amount, while also spraying line drives all around the diamond. Arraez is still a bit better at doing all those things, but Kwan is still a guy hitting upwards of 360 with a lot more to offer in every other aspect of the game. Firstly, he walks. Not a lot, just an average amount, but at a rate 3% higher than Arraez so far. That ensures that he'll walk around as much as he strikes out, making him an amazing table setter for Cleveland. Once Arraez gets on base, he's not going to do much for you. Kwan, though, is a solid runner with 43 steals, 212 times caught stealing in his young career so far. Defense, though, is really where he separates himself from the rest of the pack. In left field, Kwan has won a well-deserved 2 Gold Gloves, and with his 42 defensive runs saved, he is tied for second in Major League Baseball since his debut in 2022. I think Kwan's floor is that of a 3-WAR player. That's what he was last year as a league average hitter. But his ceiling is closer to the 6-WAR range, and he wasn't far from that as a rookie, and being that he's already put up 2-WAR on Fangraphs and Baseball Reference in just about 38 games so far, I could still be underselling him even though 6-WAR makes you one of the top 10 or so most valuable players in the league. Kwan is one of the most underrated players in baseball right now, but he's at least a well-known name. I think far less people have heard of the exploits of David Fry. Fry is a 28-year-old utility man who this year decided he'd do his best Juan Soto impression. Through 42 games, he has 29 strikeouts to 24 walks, a .459 on base, and a walk rate even higher than Soto's. Oh yeah, he's also hitting .333 with 8 home runs and an OPS north of 1. I don't want to single out one metric where Fry has really excelled, he's simply been very good at everything at the plate. There's no telling how long he can actually keep this up for. There must be a reason he only made the majors at 27 years old, but regardless, it is astounding to see what he's done up to this point. We'll see if this is just a fun little run from him, or if he's actually emerging as a great everyday player for the Guardians. Someone who, unlike Fry, has performed on par to what he's always done is the longtime face of this team, and that is the man they call J-Ram. Jose Ramirez has long been considered one of the most underrated stars in Major League Baseball. Does that mean he's no longer underrated because everyone thinks he's underrated? Well, I don't really know, but I think the usually mild-mannered Ramirez delivering a right hook on the baseball diamond did bring a lot more eyes to him and helped more people realize that he has been a consistent, well above average hitter, defender, and base runner for the last 9 years in the majors. Seriously, J-Ram has gone 20-20 every full year of his career besides 2017, and he's hit .284 with a .360 on base since his first full season in 2016. He's also averaged 31 home runs, 43 doubles, and 105 RBI per 162 games in that time frame. J-Ram's 18 defensive runs saved since 2016 rank him 26th in Major League Baseball, so while not being elite, he does hold the third base spot down much better than the average fielder does. J-Ram should be seen as a true 5-tool player, and this year he's been his usual self, minus some walks but plus a lot of home runs. On this date last year, he had 10, including 3 on June 8th. This year, he already has 18 and he is 4th in Major League Baseball in homers. He has also been a master of high leverage opportunities this season. With men in scoring position, Ramirez is hitting .373 with 5 home runs, and 12 of his 18 homers have come in situations with men on base, where he is hitting .345. J-Ram's timely hitting has led to him accruing an incredible 62 RBI already in 63 games, and that total leads baseball up to this point in the season. The 3 position players I've talked about have been the 3 most valuable players on the team by WAR, but they aren't the only guys getting it done. Jimenez is an elite defensive second baseman who's a very valuable player if he can just hit for league average. If he is above average, like he was in 2022, he is an all-star and an MVP vote-getter. If he's average, the guy is still a 4 to 5 WAR player with amazing defense, good speed, good contact, and a hint of power. This year, Jimenez's 98 OPS plus means he's been 2% worse than the league average hitter, and doing that, he's still been of good value to his team. You might recall me earlier saying Steven Kwan is tied for second in defensive runs saved since his debut in 2022 with 42. Well, tied with Kwan is actually Jimenez, and he's racked them all up at a more valuable position in second base. There has been one Cleveland Guardian who I haven't talked about that has been an above league average hitter this year. I left him for last because while the aforementioned guys have been more valuable by WAR, I think Naylor is probably one of the most fun to watch. He seems like a chill guy in interviews, but while Kwan, Jimenez, J-Ram, and Fry are pretty mild-mannered on the baseball field, Josh Naylor seems to have a few screws loose. In previous years, he's built up a good list of entertaining moments, including aggressively claiming Garrett Cole as his little son mid-home run trot, headbutting his manager, and also having a classic exchange with White Sox fans in an amazing extra inning game that you need to see the John Boy breakdown of if you haven't already. This year, he added another classic moment to his highlight reel by smashing his head with his bat before spiking it after a monster 2-run homer. Naylor has displayed good power this year with 16 home runs, and his 220s average can largely be attributed to bad luck. His expected batting average is in the 270 range, and his low strikeout rate and high exit velocities indicate that better fortune should be coming his way. Even if it doesn't, Naylor's OPS plus is 121, as such he's been 21% better than the average 2024 hitter, and while he has it in him to do better, you can't say he's been anything less than solid. In the starting rotation, the Guardians have hovered around middle of the pack, despite the absence of Shane Bieber and serious struggles from Logan Allen and Carlos Carrasco. Tanner Bybee, Ben Lively, and Tristan McKenzie have managed to hold down the fort well enough, and so right now Cleveland has a 4.30 ERA for their starters, which is 18th in baseball. I'd hope to see them in the market for a starter come the trade deadline. Maybe a trade for someone like Eric Fetty is in the cards if the White Sox are willing to trade in division. What the Guardians certainly won't need is a closer. Their bullpen has put up a Major League best 2.38 ERA this year, and it's been led by none other than Emmanuel Clase. While Mason Miller has rightfully captured the attention of the baseball world this year, Clase is sitting in Cleveland with a 0.57 ERA, a 0.64 WHIP, and he leads the league in saves for the third straight season. Clase is everything you could ever want in a closer. While his strikeout numbers are closer to solid than they are amazing, Clase has impeccable command, walking just 3% of the hitters he's faced, and he also draws tons of ground balls for the statistically sound infield defense behind him. Cade Smith, Tim Herron, Nick Sandlin, and Hunter Gaddis are some of the guys who've rounded out the best bullpen in Major League Baseball, one that has been instrumental in helping this team surge to 40 wins, despite their mediocre starting pitching up to this point. And I can't conclude this video without giving props to Stephen Vogt. This was the first time in 12 years that Cleveland wasn't managed by Terry Francona on opening day, and with massive shoes to fill, Vogt, the rookie manager who was a Major League catcher just 2 years ago, seems to be doing an amazing job. I think the Guardians are a very likable team. They've managed to try and play Moneyball with the 5th lowest payroll in baseball, while managing to keep some stars around long term. Before the 2022 season, they extended J-Ram to a 7-year, $141 million contract, the largest deal in Guardians/Indians history, and in March of 2023, they locked up Jimenez for 7 years, worth about $106 million. It would be a fun breath of fresh air to see this team not only win their division again, but go on a bit of a playoff run and make it past the division series for the first time since 2016. We will see if they're able to. Maybe by making this video I have completely cursed them and they're going to lose their 100 or so games remaining. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.